Welcome back. You join me today in the a very cold Cotswolds in a random field. So I decided to go for a walk today, and I'm going to talk to you about my new camera. So I did not expect to be doing gear review videos or gear videos because I don't know much about it, but 4 or 5 videos in, there we go. Bought myself a new Ricoh GR IIIx. And if you told me I would be spending quite a lot of money on essentially a compact camera with a fixed focal length 6 months ago, I'd have thought you were mad. But today I'm going to talk you through the reasons why, as a landscape photographer and as a kind of photographer in general, I've decided to get one of these. And so far, I love it. I'm really surprised by it. So we'll talk you through some of that. So the first reason I got this is it's pocketable. I bought my little boy a Lumix GX1 from eBay for about £100, and I found I was using that more and more. Maybe not so much for landscape photography, but being out and about and actually spending time with the kids, I was using that camera a lot more. But although it's decent quality, I was a bit frustrated because the sensor size meant I couldn't crop it how I wanted. It's a 16:9 crop, it kind of loses too much of the image because of the shape. And just probably the image quality. So the first reason I got this is it's pocketable. I can take it anywhere. And even that Lumix GX1, it wasn't really pocketable. I could maybe carry it around in my coat pocket. But I do a lot of running, do a lot of cycling, and I want to carry something which isn't too bulky. And this fits the picture. I can take it anywhere. I take it on the school run, which is a bit weird. But even take the Tesco. Obviously, don't take the person to Tesco because that's, again, a bit weird. But yeah, pocketable. That's the first reason. So the next key reason is the sensor size. So packed into this small body is an APS-C sensor. So it's the same sensor size as my main camera, which is a Sony Alpha A77 Mark II, I think. And yeah, that was a big selling point for me. So I get the image quality, I get a bit of better kind of lower light performance. So it's not perfect, but yeah, packed into a small body, actually quite a big sensor. Certainly a selling point. Now, where do I go? Do I head down there, or do I carry on and walk around? It's not the best light today, but that seems to be a feature of my videos, isn't it? Rubbish light. One of the other reasons I got the Ricoh is it helps me combine 2 of my hobbies together. So one of my hobbies is obviously photography. I'm not a professional, as you can probably tell. And the other one is essentially fitness, mostly kind of running, and particularly kind of trail running. So when I was younger, and I had a lot more free time before I had kids, I'd often go, ooh, actually that looks quite interesting. It's going to turn you around. You probably won't be able to see it. That tree, oh, come on. The tree out there, it's kind of got coloured leaves on one half of the thing. So that's interesting. Might go take a photo of that in a minute. So I shall go wander down there. Maybe. Anyway, where was I? So it's about combining photography and running. So a lot of the reasons I'm coming up with are to do with the portability of that camera. So it's high quality images and it's portable. So the idea is I can take it running. So when I was younger, I used to run up mountains. Well, run up is a stretch of a term, but I used to run round mountains and then run, like try and run up them, but more hike in reality. I used to take my kind of big camera, and I used to take a lot of lenses, and it was a bit ridiculous. So you're carrying a hell of a lot of weight, and running in the hills, fair running, it's about being light and nimble on your feet. So actually getting this camera means I can do that. I can run, I can be easily more nimble. So that's another reason why, as a landscape photographer, or maybe outdoor photographer, I've bought the Ricoh. Not really my main camera for landscapes, but it's going to give me a lot more opportunities to be out taking photos. Okay, let's just try and get this shot. So I watched a video by Rick Bebbington kind of recently about photography rules, and one of the rules he mentioned, or he's kind of pointed as a key rule, is a photo interesting? And it's a very good rule. Is it interesting? Now I think this image here, I think it's interesting because it's got, like, it's unusual. You've got half a tree with leaves still on it and half a tree without, possibly just a prevailing wind. But I'm not sure if I can make it a decent photo, but we'll see. It's a case of exploring a little bit, because I kind of like the blue and the orange contrasting together. I quite like the circles of the tracks around it, and I think it works better because there is snow on the ground. But can I make it work as an image? I think it's certainly one to ponder. So if we move you over here a little bit. Whoa, my tripod is not set up properly. There is a house which is white, which does not look in keeping with the rest of the landscape. So I sound very hot fuzz. Probably needs to be blown up by a swan. So let's see what I can do. I think I might try and do a pano actually of this one. One of the other things, or one of the other main reasons why I got the GR IIIx was I like to shoot handheld. I find tripods really frustrating. I must admit my tripod isn't an expensive one. I find it very fiddly and I don't really like carrying it, so I like shooting handheld. Now I think one of the problems I've got with handheld is I'm probably not very still, particularly my bigger camera. So I tend to zoom in a bit more as well, and I think that does have an impact on my image quality. But the image stabilisation in the GR3 is phenomenally good. Well, certainly from my experience. I can't speak about other cameras, but it's a big step up from what I've currently got. So hopefully, handheld, faster, better shots of the cameras. Shots of the cameras? Basically better, sharper shots. And I might do a video of how to get sharp shots every time, which would be ridiculous from me because I get sharp shots about 10% of the time. But a lot of it's about just focusing and correctly and image stabilisation, so I don't wobble your camera around like a tit. Just a little bit more about today. So I'm walking around the Cotswolds. I've walked up from Andover's Flood through Bockhampton, up a bridle way. I'm now coming into a bit of a woodland, and I'm going to loop back and double back around into the valley, and hopefully get some more shots, maybe of some farm animals, maybe some cows would be nice. But this is quite a nice little pretty road. Still a bit of autumn colour, which is nice, which is good. it'd be good if I get a shot of maybe a cyclist or walker kind of up in the background. But yeah, pleasant day. Do wish I bought some gloves though, because it's freezing. Yeah, that was a schoolboy area, wasn't it? Right, a few more shots to be had here, I think. Sign saying private land, so I'm obviously going to go wandering in it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. There's zero evidence of this, isn't there? No, I'm not. I'm just going to look at it from the outside. Oh, there's a sign. Poachers will be shot. Ugh, cool. So if any of you were thinking about getting a kind of Ricoh camera, hit me up in the comments. Similarly, if you've got one and you use it for landscape photography, kind of let me know kind of how you're finding it, because I found some kind of positives about it and some negatives about it. Certainly for landscape photography, although I've only really been out with it for landscape photography twice, and that second time is today. But it's quite... Just let me know. It'd be good to chat. Now, one of the things that was difficult about this decision to get a Ricoh GR III was which version to get. So they've kind of got two versions as such. There's a Sony GR III and a Sony GR IIIx. Now they're essentially the same camera, the only difference is the fixed focal length. So I think the GR III has a kind of full frame equivalent of 28mm, so wider, and the GR IIIx has a kind of 40mm full frame equivalent. Now, that was probably one of the hard decisions to make. So what I did is I looked in Lightroom and looked at the photos I took at 28mm full frame equivalent, and I did take into account that a lot of them, I wasn't just focusing just on landscape photography, I was focusing on the ones I took on my family when I'm just out and about with them, but also landscape photography as well, because it's to be used for both, really. I can't really justify getting it for just one reason. And I looked at the ones at 40mm. Now obviously I have fewer photos at 40mm because I have a lens, it's in the middle of one of my lenses, so I don't tend to zoom quite to that level, whereas the kind of Lumix in particular, when it's fully zoomed out on the lens I've got, it is 28mm. And I had taken more photos at 28mm, which kind of suggests I should have got the GR III version, but I tended to use that more as a, say for the kids, more like trying to get them all in the frame with the context of what they're doing. But I did find that ones where the photos were at 40mm, they seem to be a bit more kind of impactful and a bit more focused. And also, when it comes to landscape photography, I tend to shoot a bit more zoomed in. So I tend to like having reach, and I think this is going to be one of the challenges I've got with this camera is a fixed focal length, which is to some extent kind of in between where I normally shoot. Like normally I don't tend to shoot that wide all the time, to be honest, but I tend to zoom, I have some kind of element of zoom in, and often probably more than like 70 or 80mm. I tend to be quite sort of lazy when I'm walking around. So, but I ended up picking the kind of 40mm version, and one of the other reasons for that was I've just turned 40, and I tried a project back when I was 33 called Project 33, very creative, where the aim was to take a photo every day for a year. And I had my big camera. I think I lasted 4 days. I think turning 40 or having my birthday in October doesn't help, because all of a sudden nights draw in, you work all day and then you've got no time in daylight. But I thought, turned 40 and 40mm photo every day with a pocketable camera I can take everywhere and just take photos of stuff that's catching my eye. So there's a number of reasons why I went for a 40mm, but I quite like having a bit of extra reach, and I think it looks quite a natural view. I think from what I've read, and it kind of makes sense. At 28mm is probably the field of vision that humans have, but 40mm is probably more of a where the kind of focus of attention is in humans. So you see more around you, but your focus of attention is a much shorter frame. So it makes the photos look a bit more, I suppose, natural and less photo-like, if that makes any sense. We are now in the domain of, oh God, it's wet. Ugh. Oh, wet foot. Oh God. Right, just have to go through all that mud. Oh well, there's a cow up there. If I can get the camera on it, up there somewhere. He looks good. We'll get a shot of him somehow. I wonder, because this is a bit of a handheld camera, if I can actually take you with me like this. Yeah, this is looking good. Right, okay. Right, we do one of those POV style videos. And hopefully this footage doesn't end up on the news when I've been trampled by a cow. Although if it does, it probably gets more views from my last video, which was currently 14. Yeah, this is looking good. Hello, cow. Hello, cow. Oh, you're looking good. Yeah, I like this. Hello, cow. Birds. Oh, I missed the birds. I wonder if I can go down a bit. Try and get a low perspective of him or her. Oh. Right down, there we go. Yeah. Hello, cow. Right, it's gone. Not going to get too close if it's getting a bit skitty. One of the reasons I got this camera and why I actually really like it is, well, it's made by Ricoh, which I associate with photocopiers. And that probably shouldn't be a reason to buy a camera, but look at it, it's plain, it's basic, it doesn't scream look at me. It's kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. I suppose it's the John Major of cameras, isn't it? It doesn't look much, but it did help bring down the reign of terror of the Iron Lady. So it's probably why a lot of street photographers like it. Check the cows, because it does look stealthy. It doesn't look like a fancy camera. I suppose because it's YouTube, and this is YouTube, I need to say something controversial. It's not a hipster look at me camera. I'm talking about Fuji, obviously. If you want to get in the comments and have a go at me, Fuji lovers, great, because it helps with the engagement and pushes me up the algorithm, because it's about engagement, isn't it? But no, it doesn't look much, does it? It doesn't look like a fancy camera, and I like that. People wouldn't stop and look at you in the street. Oh, that's fancy. It's bland. It's the grey man. As I said, it's for John Major cameras. It's not the, I suppose, Boris Johnson of cameras. Oh God, can you imagine what that camera would be like? It'd have a massive, like, microphone muff on it, wouldn't it? yeah, I kind of want a camera manufacturer to make a Boris Johnson of cameras, just to see what hideous thing it comes out with. Anyway, I've got lost in what I was saying. Right, let's try and find something else to shoot. I think the final reason why I decided to get this camera was, again, it's related to its pocketability, but it's the ability to be able to just take it out, carry it anywhere, and take photos. Now, the main point of that is more around being able to, I suppose, get back to my roots in photography. So when I first got a camera, I took my camera pretty much everywhere and took photos of a lot of stuff. And yeah, some of those photos are really bad, but some of them are all right. And I think it's that ability to maybe just take more photos and be a little bit more snapshotty, a little bit more on the hoof, a little bit more unplanned. And I think that's what helps build a bit of creativity, because I wouldn't normally get my big camera out and take this scene, and there's not a lot to it. It's a path leading line to a wood without much interest, and it's probably not a great photo, but it's just that case of being able to just get it out quickly and just take shots. So thank you for watching so far. Obviously, if you're looking to get one of these cameras, please let me know in the comments. Similarly, if you've got one, let me know kind of what you think of it, because I did a lot of research into actually picking this camera and a lot of thinking, and to be honest, when I decided to get one, it had a lot of waiting around for the order to come in, because they're quite difficult to get hold of. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.